So I'm heading back to Vietnam, one of my favorite countries in the world. And I thought I'd put this video together for you guys, especially if you're first-time travelers to Vietnam. You might be a little bit anxious, a little bit overwhelmed, heading to a chaotic country with not the greatest English. So in this video, I'm going to be covering exactly what to do in your first hour when you arrive into Ho Chi Minh City, from getting cash, SIM cards, transportation, and great applications to use as well. But two super important things before actually flying into the country that you want to organize prior. One is travel medical insurance. I'm gonna go ahead and set mine up in a couple minutes, and I use SafeToWing, so I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that, so it saves you one less headache. And two is visas. For most countries that wanna travel to Vietnam, you actually need a visa. There are a few that are visa exempt, so just Google Vietnam visa exemption countries, and it should come up with the list of the countries and the amount of days that you should get free. But for majority of the countries, you're actually gonna need a visa. And what I use is I use the official government website, so I'm gonna put a link and I'm gonna show you on my phone now as well how I did that. So Vietnam are offering 1 or 3 month visa options. So head to the website, fill out the prompts, fill out the necessary details, like passport, date of birth, full name. Make sure you get all of this stuff right, because the last thing you want is doing the visa and getting to the airport and having the names or information incorrect, because they will reject you. Now, after you filled out all the information, you pay as well. So you can either pay for a single entry, so if you just want to fly into Vietnam and you know you're going to leave, or you can pay a little bit extra for multiple entry. So that means if you want to fly into Vietnam, spend a few weeks there, then fly out to another country, then come back, you might want to get that option. So after everything's sorted, you'll get a confirmation email. Nothing's been approved yet. It's generally 3 business days in order to get the final approval. So that means keep an eye on your emails and make sure to follow the prompts and whatnot from there. Travel medical insurance. Going to countries that you've never sort of been to or a bit chaotic like Vietnam, it's probably a good idea to get travel medical insurance, just to cover things such as delays, loss of luggage. Those are the worst things. Accidents, medical. Now, ever since I started traveling full-time, December of 2022, so well over a year, I've always used SafeToWing because they're sort of set up for people like me. It's such an easy platform to use. I'm going to show you guys now how I do it within a couple minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my account. Now I'm after the travel medical insurance, so I'd select Nomad Insurance. I like SafeToWing because it's a subscription-based model, and because I'm long-term traveling a few months, if not almost a year at a time, I don't know what country I'm going to be in, nor the end date, so it's good just to have a model that's ongoing. And then when I come home, I can just cancel it, which is awesome. But yeah, you can if you know the countries that you're going to, and if I did, I'd just select pay up front with a trip end date. Let's go ahead and choose a start date. I'm going to fill out the beneficiaries. So we're going to go ahead and choose a country. Obviously, I'm flying into Vietnam. The good thing is SafeToWing is they have over 180 countries as well. So I'm sort of covered for, up to 180 countries, which is awesome. I don't have any additional members. I'm solo, but if you guys do, you can add that onto the one record. Final stage, just purchase the policy. I'm going to enter in my credit card details. I've used bigger companies before, and it can be just a headache. At least SafeToWing, they've got 0 deductibles. You're just paying for exactly what's on the screen. And I've always flirted with, do I need it or do I not? But me, I love using scooters. Driving around in places like Ho Chi Minh City where we're going can be quite dangerous. It's always good just to be safe. And bam, travel medical insurance sorted in a couple minutes, which is awesome. But yeah, after using SafeToWing for over a year now as well, guys, I've recently partnered with them to give you guys a QR code and a link in the description to help you guys out if you ever need. Now let's go and catch this flight and show you exactly what to do once you get into Ho Chi Minh City. Alright guys, we have arrived. 8-hour flight from Melbourne to Ho Chi Minh City. Now, I'm actually very lucky because today I've actually entered into a terminal where I'm actually going straight into here, but most of the times you might be getting on a bus. So if you're on a bus, you want to just literally just rush all the way here, get here as quickly as possible to go through immigration, security, where they check your visas again and everything. So let's do that. Yeah, this is all new actually. Lines up and everything, which is quite nice. And we're gonna touch on cash, SIM card and everything, but I recommend just avoiding all of these SIM cards if possible. Just get through immigration and visa as quickly as possible. I'm through immigration, security. Now, big tip, try and get to the front of the lines as quickly as possible because these lines are building up, and if you're unlucky and you get stuck, I've stayed in these lines for over an hour before, so I'm very thankful I got there very early, and it only took me about 5 to 10 minutes to get through, so that's a big tip. Now, as you actually come to immigration, you're gonna find a bunch of stairs. So as you walk down, this is essentially, I want to say, the floor level where all of your luggage is going to be. Now, there will be numbers on screen, sorry, telling you exactly where the arrival is. So keep an eye on those screens. Actually, they're right here. As you come down, it'll tell you which belt and which arrivals is right here. But big little tip for solo travelers especially, or even if you just travel in general, try and just have a carry-on. I don't travel with any luggage anymore. I literally just have one bag, carry-on. I zoom in and out of airports. It's incredible. And you're saving like almost $100 each way as well. So luggage can be expensive. But yeah, this is the ground level. You can have a duty-free, you can have drinks, chocolates, etc. as well, but cigarettes, that's pretty much it. I would just honestly just try and avoid this bit and just get out to the front where we're going to talk about cash, transportation and applications as well. As we exit here, guys, let's touch on cash first. Ideally, if you can, actually try and convert a little bit of money in your own country. That's what I do. The rates are a lot better than the actual these places. So currency exchanges, there's so many. You've got 3 here. You've got a whole host down here as well, which is not the best exchange rate. It's probably the worst exchange rate in Vietnam. So if you need to, maybe exchange $50 or $100 at most. What I'd recommend instead is going to authorized currency exchanges in the city or even gold shops. So what I would do is head on to Google Maps, type in currency exchange in the area that you're staying in Ho Chi Minh City. A whole host of options should come up. Just go to the ones with the best reviews and you can go in there and exchange money. If you need an ATM, there's a BIDV here. I honestly don't do that. It's a 3% surcharge on everything, so it's terrible. There is a few more outside, so once you exit out up here, you're gonna head down, there's a Popeyes, and then there's an ATM right on the left as well. Once again, they're not really the best rate either. If you're gonna use ATMs, use TP Bank or VP Bank. You can Google those on your Google Maps, you can find those, but they have no withdrawal fees from what I hear, so they're probably the best ones to use. If you're gonna use an ATM, click no conversion. It will work out better in your favor. You'll probably get more money rather than converting to your home currency. Now, if you do plan on using one of these currency exchanges, all the rates are pretty similar, so just have a look around. But some quick little tips is, main tip 1 is have brand new notes. They won't accept any damaged or old notes. They're very, very picky, and you want to use high denomination. So $100 bills, $50 bills, $20 and $10 bills. If they actually even take them, will be less value, so you're not going to get as much money. But generally they don't take those small notes anyways. And note that Vietnam's largely a cash society, so most of the restaurants, the street food you're gonna eat, they won't take card as well. But some are higher end restaurants, some hotels, some shops, like malls and stuff, they will take a card. So quick little tip, if you need a card, get some sort of travel debit card, or I personally use a no overseas transaction fee card. If you're any Aussies, I use Ubank. I already have some cash left over, so I'm just gonna go ahead and show you some of the best SIM cards to get as well. Some other options, you might wanna check out eSIMs. I don't personally use any, but do your own research, get an eSIM. It's ready on your phone. As soon as you land, you can connect to the internet. But a couple of the best SIM cards you wanna get is either Mobifone or Viettel. I personally use Viettel. They are, I believe they're renowned as the best data network in Vietnam as well, so you get a big reach everywhere. I'm gonna go ahead and get a Viettel. I'll show you guys the prices as well. SIM card done. I'll put the prices of what they have at the airport here now. With the airport SIM cards, they are limited, so you're gonna pay a little bit more than if you were to go into the city, find the actual stores, but I pay for the convenience. Just to be immediately connected to Wi-Fi, it's really good. And honestly, doing my research, it's only $5, $10, at most $20 more if you were to get it in store, so the convenience is worth it. But if you don't want the SIM cards from here, you want to save a little bit of money, you want to go into the city or what have you, you can just do that. Once again, just search up Google Viettel stores, you'll be able to find it. And if you need Wi-Fi straight away, the airport does give you free Wi-Fi, so you can connect to that, use that for the time being and go from there. The next thing that's really important is actually the applications that you use in Vietnam as well. One is Google Maps. So everything I've spoken about, you can literally, one, Google, but also Google Map. whether it be your hostel or the restaurants, wherever, it's all included on Google Maps. So Vietnam's really well connected in that regard. Next is Google Translate. If you're not a Vietnamese like myself, you'll find communication could be a little bit difficult, especially with the Vietnamese words. It's hard to read. So if you have Google Translate, you can, one, take a photo and then it will translate into English or whatever language. Two, you can actually speak English, translate to Vietnamese and give it to whoever you need to speak to. You might want a currency converter app as well. I use one on Apple, just literally called Currency. It's a green one. I can put down all the currencies in the world as an example. So that's gonna be probably helpful as well. In terms of accommodation as well, this is something that might be useful for you. I find Booking.com and Airbnb the best options. Booking.com, the filtering system is absolutely incredible. They're really good for hotels and resorts and stuff like that. But I find Airbnb really great as well. If you want sort of a homey place, sometimes it has a kitchenette, your own space as well, so that's really nice too. Just depends what you want. The pricing's pretty much the same, to be honest. You're not gonna get too drastic different prices, so it's really good. Next, we're gonna touch on transportation, and I'm gonna touch on my favorite form of transportation, which is Grab. So Grab is probably the #1 form of transportation. It's the equivalent to Uber in Western country worlds, and you're able to get cars, large SUVs, or even little motorbikes as well. So you can, if you're a solo like me, I hop on a bike. It's the cheapest way to get around. And the best thing is you're actually able to put on your card. If you have a debit card, credit card, you can sync it up. And that way it's just a direct debit rather than having to pay cash. And the best thing is the prices are already on there. So you don't have to hassle and negotiate, it's already set. I'm gonna show you guys some other forms of transportation as well. So let's go ahead, let's head outside. I would probably avoid these taxis, these forms of transportation here. I just feel like they're a little bit more expensive. But this is what happens when you walk outside. You're gonna see essentially a viewing section of all the aunties and uncles and kids that are waiting to pick up Vietnamese people, essentially. Now, as you exit, you're gonna have a few restaurants here as well. You actually have some bus stands down on the right as well. So you can catch a little bus. I never caught a bus. When you have Grab, you have motorbikes, it's a lot cheaper. But that's an option if you're on a super tight budget. Some other options are actually taxis as well. So all around here, you're gonna see a hell of a lot of taxis. And normally it's very pushy. Maybe, I think I'm in the off season coming here in April, May time. So it's not as busy, it's not as pushy. Normally you've got people just trying to hail you down. So just remain calm. Taxi stands are literally just all the way down there. Now, I don't personally like using taxi when you have something like Grab, but if you're in a super rush, you don't want to download the application, you can just go to them. I would try and negotiate a taxi meter. I found the taxi meter is generally cheaper than agreeing on a agreed price. Another good option is if you have a family and you've booked a hotel, sometimes they organize transportation for you. So that could be a way to save a little bit of money if you're traveling in a large group. So you might want to organize that with your hotel as well. But if not, just trust me, stick to Grab. There's Gojek as well, which is essentially the competition of Grab. But I use Grab because I travel Southeast Asia a lot and they're in other Southeast Asian countries as well, so I don't have to delete the app. If you guys need to catch Grab as well, something really important. So this section here is for buses and for taxis as well. But the Grab is, you're gonna wanna cross the road, and generally there's a Grab pickup just on the other side there. I actually catch motorbikes because I'm a solo traveler, so what might be handy is you actually have to walk about 10-15 minutes to the other terminal or the other side in order to catch a bike. So if you want to save a bit of money, you want to go for a walk like me, that's probably a good option. So it can be quite daunting heading to Vietnam or heading into a new country, any country really, but honestly just remain calm, you know, have your wits about you. Rewatch this video if you guys need coming into Vietnam. If you need food or activity recommendations, my playlist is up here for Vietnam. Check that out. And if you guys actually have any other recommendations, leave something in the comments just to help out other travelers to the beautiful country that is Vietnam. Guys, I'll see you in the next one.